You're listening to the Life Coaching Secrets Podcast, episode number 68. Did you know that life coaches are needed now more than ever? I'm Frank Macri, founder of Thriving Coach Academy. I've trained over 1,000 coaches and helped them launch their own successful coaching businesses. If you want to make an incredible income and impact as a coach and have a lot of fun doing it, I'll show you exactly how to get it done. This is Life Coaching Secrets. What's up, coaches? In this episode, I'm going to talk about why you have absolutely nothing to prove. Period. You have nothing to prove. This came up in a coaching session earlier this week with one of the coaches that I've trained. I was supporting her in coming up with some strategy ideas for her marketing efforts, and she was really blocked on deciding how she wanted to market herself. And I had this sense that there was something deeper going on. And she was struggling between choosing if she should podcast or if she wanted to focus her efforts on Instagram. And I had this sense that there was something more going on. And this happens often when you coach. You'll know that your clients are going to come to sessions thinking that they need support on one thing, but they'll soon realize through your coaching that it's something totally different. Okay, so this is one of the things that we teach our coaches how to do in the academy. The phrase that we tell our coaches is you want to make sure you're coaching the person, not the problem. Coaching the person, not the problem. Because the problem is the surface level issue that they think needs to resolve, but then there's the person, which is the bigger picture of who they are, and that's what you want to tune into. So I was having that happen when I was coaching the student. And I said, I have a feeling this has nothing to do with whether you should market yourself in one way or another. I have a feeling that there's something more going on. And for some reason, I was compelled to ask this coach. I asked her, who are you trying to prove yourself to? Who do you feel like you need to prove yourself to? And I want all of you listening, whether you're a coach or you're starting or an aspiring coach, who do you feel like you need to prove yourself to with your coaching business or in your life in general? Because I feel that this is a block that so many people go through without looking at it and releasing the pressure. And I want that pressure to be released in this episode right now. I want you to think about who you feel like you need to prove yourself to. It could be a significant other. It could be a parent, whether they're living or not. It could be a boss. It could even be a friend. Who are the people in your life that you feel that you need to prove yourself to? Another way to consider this is, whose opinion of you do you wish you could change? Who has an opinion of you that you wish you could modify or change a little bit? Like you wish that they would see you as smarter or more successful, whatever it might be. Okay? This is such a heavy weight to carry. And I know that sometimes when people are looking to launch their coaching business, they have, especially when they go through the academy and they get all this incredible training, there's this moment where you're ready to launch and you're ready to share it with the world, and then you might get a little bit stuck or procrastinate or make up all these different reasons for why you can't get started. And I think one of those reasons is there's a part of you that feels like you need to prove yourself. And you're afraid of putting yourself out there and, quote, failing because you want to so desperately prove yourself to whoever that person is. What would be different for you if you realized that you have absolutely nothing to prove? You have absolutely nothing to prove at all. When was the last time in your life when you showed up without feeling like you had anything to prove at all? So I asked this coach who she feels like she has to prove herself to, and she realized that she felt she needed to prove herself to her husband. And her husband had been saying some judgmental things about her coaching business and questioned whether or not she would make it. So this coach felt this pressure to prove herself to her husband and create success so she can turn around and say, look, I told you so. I did it. I am successful. I am worth it. I am capable. I am a life coach. And when this coach realized that she had this energy that was weighing her down, we were able to start poking around at it and exploring it. So one of the questions I asked her that I want you to consider is, when was the last time you showed up to anything in your life without needing to prove anything? So when I asked this coach to come up with an example, she realized that when she hangs out with her daughter, she feels like she has nothing to prove. And I had her share why it's different when she's with her daughter. How is she showing up? Who is she being? How is she expressing herself when she feels like she has nothing to prove? And she said she just has so much fun. She's not overthinking. She's allowing herself to simply be who she is. She knows her gifts. She knows her worth, and she just shares that freely. And I said, what if you can apply that same approach to your business? What if you can apply that approach to the decision you're making with how to market your coaching business? And all of a sudden, the answers became clear for this coach. She realized that when she released the part of herself that felt she had to prove anything, all the answers started to come to her on how it is she wanted to launch the next phase of her business. When you can fully embody that you have absolutely nothing to prove, you get to experience freedom. The result is complete freedom. And it is the most incredible thing. Now, when I was in grade school, I had a tremendous pressure that I put on myself because I felt I wasn't really a popular kid. I felt a bit awkward. I was shy. I was insecure. I didn't like the way my voice sounded. I had insecurities around my appearance. And I was in classes, but I really didn't I had just a handful of friends. But for the most part, I kept to myself. And I saw lots of my peers engage with each other, have fun. And I felt like I was on the outside. I didn't feel like I belonged. And I decided that I was going to prove myself to everyone else by doing the best in school and getting the highest grade. So I spent years of my life spending so many nights staying up late, studying and overworking and overstudying and compromising my health and well-being, all because I wanted to prove myself to my peers. And I ended up graduating at the top of my class, but at the expense of myself and my health. And I realized that is not the game I wanted to play in life. That is not how I want to continue playing the game of life. So the moment that I graduated and transitioned from high school to college, I decided I am no longer going to live trying to prove myself to others because I have nothing to prove. I have absolutely nothing to prove. And I felt that I could finally live. I could finally breathe and enjoy myself. And life got so much better after I put that line in the sand and decided I don't have anything to prove to anybody. So what if you embrace that you have absolutely nothing to prove? You don't have to change anybody's opinion of you. You can let everyone have all the opinions they want to have about you, and you can still go on and live your amazing life. Now, I made an episode on this podcast. I think it's one of my favorite episodes. It's called Other People's Opinions. I think it's episode 38, something like that. And 39, I just looked it up. 39, Other People's Opinions. Why do you feel that you need to prove yourself to others? Because you have an obsession about what other people think about you. If you were able to allow other people to have their opinions of you and not try to change it or prove them wrong, then you'd be able to live with freedom. So there comes a point when you get to decide to stop trying to prove yourself to others. Instead of putting your energy proving yourself to others, what if you put that energy on approving of yourself? I'm going to say that one more time. Instead of putting your energy proving yourself to others, what if you put your energy approving of yourself? So one of the things I mentioned in that episode is a key question for you to ask yourself in order to no longer feel the need to prove yourself. The key question to ask yourself is, what is your opinion of you? What is your opinion of you? Now, we grow up taking on other people's opinions of us and modifying our life based off of what other people think about who we should be, how we should act, what we should wear, what we should eat, where we should work. We live our life taking on all these opinions that come from our religion and our school and our workplace and our family. But what about your opinion of you? What is your opinion of you? Now, I ask that question to a lot of coaches, and the response is often, I'm not really sure. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. So this is your time to think about it and declare it. What is your opinion of you? And if you're struggling with answering that, some other questions to consider are, what do you appreciate about yourself? What do you appreciate about yourself? What can you acknowledge yourself for? What are your gifts? Now, these questions, they will be difficult. They will require some space that you hold when you ask yourself these questions, and that's okay. So just because your brain might say, I don't know, I'm not sure, that doesn't mean that there isn't an answer. It just means that your brain is uncovering those answers for the first time in maybe a while. The more solid opinion you can have about yourself, the less weight you will give to other people's opinions of you. And therefore, the less you will need to prove yourself to others. The less you'll feel that you'll need to do that. And the more freedom you will live with. Now, when it comes to marketing yourself as a coach as well, sometimes I think coaches believe that marketing yourself, and one of the reasons they don't like marketing is they think that marketing is proving to others why people should work with you, proving to others why people should hire you. Now, be honest, does a part of you feel like that? That when you're marketing or selling, you're trying to convince or prove others to work with you? If so, you're doing it wrong. That is not what marketing is about. Marketing has nothing to do with convincing someone why they should work with you or needing to prove anything about yourself. Marketing is about giving value, connecting with people, having fun, and inviting people to work with you so they can come to that decision and make it on their own. You can guide them through that decision and support them through that decision, but no part of that is ever you needing to convince or persuade or prove why people need to work with you. I remember a while back, I had a potential client on a consultation call with me, and she said, so can you prove to me why you're a better coach than all the others out there? And I said, no, I'm not here to prove anything to you. And I left it at that. I said, listen, I am not here to convince you of anything or prove you of anything. I'm here to understand what you want and see what's getting in the way of you having that. And in that moment, I realized I was still claiming my power. And that's what happens when you release the part of you to need to prove yourself. You keep your power. You maintain it. You let other people formulate their own opinions of you, and you don't feel the need to try to change that. Even if they have a wrong opinion of you or an opinion of you that you don't agree with, you let people have the wrong opinion of you. Now, when I was getting started as a coach in my very early phases, and I was trying to decide, do I really want to do this? a lot of my resistance was my fear around what other people would think about me. And I realized that this fear of other people's opinions had crippled me for so much of my life. But here I was in this moment where I knew I was called to be a coach. Everything was pointing to this for years. All the signs were there. And I still was afraid about what other people might think about me and how other people might judge me. And I was worried that I needed to prove my success to others. I needed to prove why I was a great coach. But then everything changed when I realized one of the most valuable lessons that I've learned in my entire existence. And that is that people are going to judge you no matter what. People will judge you whether you are sharing your truth, whether you are sharing your gifts, whether you are pursuing your calling. And people are going to judge if you're not doing any of those things, if you're playing small, if you're not sharing your voice. So, since people are going to judge no matter what, you have an amazing decision to make. Which version of you do you want people to judge? Which version of you do you want people to judge? Do you want people to judge the small, fearful version of you or the big, powerful version of you? So when I realized that, and I asked myself that question, I decided, bring on the judgment. I want people to judge the big, powerful version of me. I want people to have an opinion of the version of me that's going after my dreams. And I invite you to consider that for yourself as well. If you feel like you need to prove yourself to others, what is your opinion of you? Can you have your back on your opinion of you? And then which version of you do you want people to judge? That's key. So, you have absolutely nothing to prove, period. When you're growing your coaching business, when you're deciding to become a life coach, I know that the term life coach, sometimes people put this pressure on themselves and think, oh my gosh, if I become a life coach and I decide to pursue this as my career and I don't do well, then does that mean I'm a failure as a coach and therefore I'm a failure at life? No. I have another episode on my podcast called Choosing Your Failure, where one of the things I realized is that, in life, you're going to fail no matter what. You're going to fail whether you're pursuing your calling. You're also going to fail if you don't pursue your calling. Now you get to choose, which failure do you want to have? Because if you're not pursuing your calling, then the failure you experience is the failure that's called regret. And I think this is the worst failure to experience because it stays with you to the very end of your life until it's over. Now, when you're pursuing your calling, though, you're going to have so many failures. But those failures are all the good kind of failures. They're the failures that you want to have. They're the failures that you want to accumulate because they're helping you create the life of your dreams. They're the failures that are on track with you having all the results that you want to have. So you're going to fail no matter what. You might as well choose the failure that's going to allow you to have the life you want to have. So let's pledge right now. I want you to take a pledge for yourself. And I want you to make this a moment where you release any desire to change someone else's opinion of you. Right, I want you to really think about that. The next time someone has a comment about you and what you're doing with your life, or they make an opinion about you, what if you just let them have their opinion and you didn't even need to respond to it? You didn't need to prove anything or convince them otherwise. So in this moment, as of today, you release yourself of any desire to change someone's opinion of you. As of today, you allow all people to see you as they want to see you. You just let people see you however they want to see you without needing to change that. And as of today, you allow people to have all the opinions that they want to have of you and all the opinions that they will have of you as you put yourself out there even more and live an even more authentic life. And as of today, you allow people to think whatever they are going to think. One of the concepts I love teaching our coaches inside the academy is what people say is about them. What you make it mean is about you. What people say is about them. What you hear is about you. So as of today, you allow people to either like you or dislike you. Do you feel the freedom of allowing all of that? Right? You can be the juiciest peach on the tree, but there are going to be people that don't like peaches. As of today, you allow people to see your greatness and also not see your greatness. You allow that. So there's the allowance of other people having their own opinions without needing to prove anything differently or changing their opinions. And the other half is the acknowledgement of yourself. Okay? So, by the way, when you're coaching clients who are feeling like they need to prove themselves to others, and this is a weight on their shoulders, the two things that you want to help them is the allowance of other people's opinions and then the acknowledgement of who they are. That's what I'm going over in this episode. So now that we've allowed other people to have opinions, let's focus on you acknowledging you. So as of today, you acknowledge yourself for who you are. As of today, you acknowledge yourself for your gifts, for your strengths, for your accomplishments. As of today, you acknowledge that you are complete and there's nothing wrong and there's nothing lacking about you. And as of today, you acknowledge that there's nothing that you need from anyone. There's nothing that you need from anyone. You have everything that you need. As of today, there's nothing left for you to get or required for you to get for your freedom. Because as of today, you acknowledge that you are free. That's what I got in this episode on why you don't need to prove yourself to others. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Hey, would you like access to powerful coaching tools you can use on yourself and clients right away? For being a listener of the podcast, I'm giving you a VIP guest pass to get a sneak peek into my coach training program. Inside, you'll learn our coaches' secret tool they use to transform their clients' lives. And you'll also get a training on how to launch a coaching business. Just head over to www.thrivingcoachacademy.com/VIP to get started. I'll see you on the inside.